So, hi guys, good day everyone. As you all know, my name is Ugu Kevin Chimaya, the CEO of Vista Tech Graphics and Print. So, in today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to crop out image. You understand? Because before you make use of, before you make use of any image for graphic design, you have to crop out the background, or you have to change the background of that image. So in our last class, you remember I taught you about Photoshop tools and their names and their functions. So today we are going to be applying the Photoshop tools responsible for cropping out image and changing image background. And one of those tools I'm going to use for this class is known as pen tool, or this polygonal lasso tool. You understand? This is polygonal lasso tool. So if I right click on it, I can select polygonal lasso tool. As you can see, the family, we have lasso tool, we have polygonal lasso tool, we have magnetic lasso tool, but I'm going to be using polygonal lasso tool. Then I'm going to be using pen tool. Two of them can actually do the same work, but I will prepare a particular class for pen tool. Pen tool is a very good vital tool. You understand? Just because I know how to make use of pen tool, I've succeeded in making thousands of money, because pen tool is what you are going to be using when we want to draw logo. You understand? If I want to draw logo for some companies, there are some logos I charged I'll show you. There's some logos I charged 30,000 naira to just to design a logo for a company. I have a friend that charged up to 100,000 and above. It depends on the connection you have and the people you are dealing with. You understand? So I will teach you how to draw logo with pen tool, but that should be a separate class on its own. But for here, I want to teach you how to change image background. So let's dive into the work now and see how it goes. Do you understand? So now the first thing we are going to do is to go and import the picture we are going to use. So importing the picture we are going to use is just like bringing the picture into Photoshop. So you can do it by two ways. One, you click on file, you click on open, then you browse the image. Sorry, let me cancel this is a mistake. Then the second one is you minimize your Photoshop. Once you minimize your Photoshop, you go to the folder where you saved the image. Then let me click here. So I'll be using this my picture. This is a picture of mine, the picture I took in 2019. So we are going to be changing this picture background from this plain background. Then we'll put it into this building, or we will put it into this building, or this building, any one of our choice. So now let's go ahead and import these pictures to Photoshop. I can highlight three of them by holding Control. Then I'll click on this and hold Control, click on this one, click on this one. So I've highlighted three of them, so I cannot drag three of them to Photoshop. So I will drag and touch Photoshop, then drag it inside Photoshop before I release my hand from my mouse. So once I'm inside Photoshop, then I will now release my hand, and I will click OK, depending on the windows you are using. So now the next thing we are going to do, so see the background, see there another bar for the second background, then see the bar for the image you are going to crop. So having selected this polygonal lasso tool, you zoom by pressing Control plus. Control plus will help you and zoom your picture. You understand? Then you scroll down, or you hold space bar, not backspace, space bar. That is the longest key in your keyboard. Then you hold it, then you can now drag, because as you can see, you cannot see human hand. Once you click on your space bar, you see human hand, which means you can hold the image and take it up. So we drag up, So anytime I want to start, I will always advise you to start from this side, so you can start anywhere of your choice, but I will always advise you to start from this side so that you can go round. So now I start by cropping, then I click here. So if you are cropping, you just have to zoom well and make sure your cropping is on top of the, don't crop the background like this. So if I want to go back, as you can see I made a mistake, so if I want to go back, I'll just click on delete, 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 delete. You understand? So don't click on the background, crop at the edges of the picture. It's very easy, just that I want to teach you something. That is the reason why I'm wasting time. If I'm to do this in less than 1 minute, I'm done. So let's go. So you keep cropping. Just when you bring it on top of the image, you click. When you bring it on top of the image, you click. You click, click, you click, you click. Keep clicking. That's how you'll be doing it. Remember, before you make use of image, in most cases you have to crop it out. See, this is my fake tattoo. I'll also teach you how to do that. So you keep cropping, keep cropping. This is a step-by-step class. This is a step-by-step class. You don't need to jump anyone. You don't need to jump any of these classes if you want to be a professional graphic designer. You don't need to jump any of these classes. So you keep cropping. Hope you can see what I'm doing. For you to be very good in cropping, you just have to practice this very well. Practice with your system. Practice well. Practice like 5 to 10 times. Use 5 different pictures of yours to practice this. You will see the result. It's very simple, and why I like this work is that you work in your house and get paid. As you can see, I'm inside my room working. I'm inside my room. I don't normally go outside except if I want to buy foodstuffs or I want to buy something. I'm always indoors working, making cool money, making legit money, both online, offline, making cool money. This one is not fraud money that EFCC will come and catch you. This is a cool money. You crop picture, you make a design, they pay you 10,000. Some of all these people that you see that do sales girls, a month they pay them 10,000. A month they pay them 15,000. And you can make more than that within 3 days in your house. You can make more than that within 3 days in your house. Hope you understand. I don't see why a good graphic designer will be broke. A good graphic designer don't supposed to be broke. I have friends that earn millions from graphic design. I have friends that does that. Do you understand? I will also show you how I've been making a lot of money from graphics just with this small thing. No stress. Do you see me stressing myself? I'm just cropping picture. After cropping, I will use it and make a nice design and I will get paid. I earn more than some government workers. It's not a joke. I earn legal money more than some government workers. Some of all these government workers, some of all these teachers you see, they don't earn more than 40,000 naira a month. You understand? But I earn more than that in a month from all these things that I do. So I want to teach you how you will earn such a thing. So can you see what I'm doing? So after, as you can see, I went around the image. So now, because I want to delete the background, I want to delete all this background. Do you understand? So I'll click here, I'll select only the background. Do you understand? I'll select only the background. As you can see, I've selected only the background, but had it been I joined it here, it would have been the image that I would have selected. So the next thing I'm going to do is to delete this background. So for me to delete it, I have to unlock this key. As you can see, there's a padlock sign here, so I have to unlock it first before I'll be able to delete this. Because if I should delete, look at what is going to happen. Look at what is going to happen, which is not good. So let me Control Alt Z, that is undo. Control Alt Z is undo, and Control Z is redo. So now if I want to unlock this background, what I'm going to do is just to come here and double click on it. Then I'll double click, then this layer will come, and then I'll click OK. So as you can see, the padlock sign has gone out. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll right click here and feather the image. So feathering the image is to make the edge, when you delete it, is to make this edge not to be rough. You understand? For example, if I delete, as you can see, this edge is rough. You understand? But when I feather it with Control Alt Z, that is, I've undo, I've gone back. So when I feather it, let me say feather 3 is okay. So when I feather it, then I press delete. As you can see, the edge is now smooth. Instead of being sharp, is now smooth. You understand? So that is the essence of. So once you delete your picture appropriately, this is how the background is supposed to look like. You understand? So you right click and click on. So I want to show you something. As you can see, there's something moving around my skin. That is the selection I made, is moving around my skin. So for me to remove it, I will right click and click on deselect. Another shortcut for deselect is Control D. So let me undo. If I press Control D, this selection will go out. So press Control D, it has gone out. So that is that for the hope you understand selection and deselection. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I click here, because I really need to crop out this is also a background, and I need to remove it. Just be sensitive of any background. Even this one, I'm still going to remove this one. So I'll click here, I'll keep selecting from the edges of my skin. I'll keep selecting from the edges of my skin. I'll keep selecting from the edges of my skin. You understand? So once I've selected that, the next thing is remember to feather. I click on feather. Feather 3 is okay. I press enter for okay. Then I press delete. Then I press Ctrl D to deselect this selection. Ctrl D, it has gone out. So the next thing I'm going to do is to come this side and click here, click here, click here, click. Click here, click here, click. It's very, very simple. If I'm to do this, I'll finish it in less than 1 minute, but because this is a class, I need to take it gently, so that then I feather so that you understand what I'm doing. Then I press enter, I delete, I press Ctrl D. So now this image is due for changing of background. Do you understand? So the next thing I'm going to do if I want to change this background is to import this background in this image. You understand? Or import this image to the background. So there are two ways you can do it. Is either I bring the background in or I take the image there. So what I'm going to do now is, should I use this background? Okay, let me use this background. So we have the work of this polygonal lasso tool is to select background and delete it. So for me to drag this background to this image, I'm going to use move tool. That is where the function of move tool comes in. So this is my move tool, so I have to select my move tool. I've selected my move tool, so I click on this background, then I click and hold, then I drag up and touch the bar of that image, then I drag in. Don't remove your hand from your mouse, then you drag in and remove your hand this time around. So this is the image over here. So I zoom back, you position it the way you want it to be. So there's something I want you to know. Take a look at this layer now. You cannot see the image we cropped because the house is on top of the layer of the image. You understand? It's just like this my hand now. You understand? If I want to cover this my hand, if this one is in front, you cannot see this one because this one is in front. So for us to bring this back, for us to make this image to show, what you are going to do is bring this image on top of this one. You understand? Bring this image on top of this layer. So drag this image. I'll click on this, I'll select this image, then click and hold, then drag up and leave it. As you can see, the image has appeared in front of the house. So as you can see, I'm bigger than the house, and which is not proper. I don't supposed to be bigger than the house. So it's either I expand the house or I reduce myself. So what I'm going to do is to expand the house. So I select the house, the layer of the house, and I click here at this edge, then hold my shift key. It's necessary, make sure you hold your shift key, then you click, then you expand from these edges. When you want to expand, you expand with 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave all this center box, is not meant for expanding. So I expand, then I bring it up, I expand again. So I guess this is okay now. So either I press enter, you can see this check option here. Once you tamper with this move line, move 2 lines, it will always tell you to check. So for you to proceed to anything, you have to click on check, tick this good, or you press enter. If you click on this thing, all those things we do will go back. You understand? So let me click on it so you see. It didn't take effect because I rejected it. That icon means reject. So let me just expand fast. So this is okay for me like this. So is either I click check or I press enter key. So let me click on check. So this is okay now. So now I have to save this image. So for me to save this image, I'll click on Ctrl S or go to file, click on save as. Do you understand? Once I click on save as, then I press okay, let me just save with a different name so that it will not save as the original picture. So I click on, first of all, you save as Photoshop so that any day you need this thing, you can always access the raw file. You save as Photoshop. So we have saved as Photoshop. So the next thing is to click on save as again, then save as JPEG. JPEG is the ordinary file that you can make use of. You cannot make use of Photoshop file. So this is JPEG, JPEG, JPEG file. So you click on JPEG, then you save as JPEG. So let's minimize our Photoshop and see the work we have done. So this is the original picture we use, then this is the cropped picture we use. Have you seen the two different things? So there's also what we call PNG. I will teach you about PNG. So let me show you how PNG looks like. So if I want to, for example, if I want to remove this, if I don't want this background to show, I'll click on this eye icon to hide the background. So this is the image we crop. So for example, if I want to save this thing in a PNG file, so I go to file, or another shortcut for file is Control Shift Control S. That is Control Shift S. You click Control, you hold Shift at the same time, then you press S. So I click on, okay, let me use Control Shift S, Control Shift S, then this option will pop out. Then this PNG is if I don't want the image to have background, if I want it to have a like a transparent background, that is image transparency, then I click on PNG. You understand? So these are the three basic ways we'll be saving our images in this training. You understand? So I want to close all these things. Okay, let me save as Photoshop. So I want to close all these things. Let me show you. So for example, now this is the original image, this is the one we added background, and this is the image transparency, the one that we saved in PNG. So let me show you one benefit of this PNG. This PNG is, maybe I want to use this image and design something next time. You understand? Then I will, if I import this image again in Photoshop, this is the one I saved in PNG. You understand? So if I import it in Photoshop again, I don't have to crop the background again. Do you understand? I will not have to crop the background again. What I need to do is I'll just start making use of the image. So let me drag and put it in Photoshop, and I press OK. So have you seen it? The image doesn't have background. You understand? So one other thing about Photoshop, about saving in a Photoshop, this is the one we saved in Photoshop files. You can see it's a raw file. So one good thing with it is, if you are doing a design, now, why it's good to save in Photoshop is that anywhere you stopped in that design, if you come back tomorrow, if you open the Photoshop file, you will continue from where you stop. So let me open this by dragging it to Photoshop. I open, then I drag it up and touch this bar. You understand? Click OK. So now, as you can see, this is the raw file and this is the background. Remember, we hide this background the last time we opened this thing, and that is the reason why when we open it, the background we are still hidden. So for me to unhide it, for me to open it, like for me to unhide it, I'll have to click this box to bring out the eye icon. Do you understand this now? So in our next class, we are going to proceed. I'm going to teach you how to make use of pen tool in our next class. You can also use pen tool and crop image. So I'll prepare a full stack class for pen tool and how to make use of pen tool and how to use pen tool to crop image, so that when we go into logo designs, you will know how to make use of pen tools to design, to draw any type of object you want to draw. So thank you guys for participating in this class. Please, if this video were so useful to you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, so that next time I drop an update, you will get a notification. Thank you guys. Thank you for participating in the class. See you next time. I remain my humble self, Kevin Chimoya, the CEO of B-Star Graphics and Print, and I'm also the CEO of B-Star Technology. You can check my website, bstartech.com. Thanks. See you in the next class.